Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today I want to talk about Mighty Max. The Mighty Max toys had a huge effect on my childhood, and I'm not ashamed to say that they actually stem from my intrigue when I first saw Polly Pocket. Now Polly Pocket was a toy aimed at girls for the most part, which was essentially like clamshell worlds. So these worlds in which Polly could maybe dress up or go shopping or do cooking or whatever would be contained in a neat and handy closable clamshell. In some instances actually quite literally clamshells. Maybe she was being a mermaid and she was inside a shell. Very witty stuff. But they were sort of portable with these little minifigures, and they really appealed to my I don't know, my sense of organisation, sense of imagination when I was a child. I really found them fascinating, this idea of having these little characters in these little cases that you could take around with you. A little bit like a computer game, but a little bit more like traditional toys in that sense, portable worlds. And understandably, for quite a while, my mum was a little bit reticent, really, when it comes to possibly getting me Polly Pocket. She supported me in almost everything I ever wanted to do, but when it came to sort of getting a very pinky girl's toy, she just wasn't all that happy. But then, in 1992, Mighty Max hit the market, and Mighty Max is the reason why I'm wearing this thing. It's the closest I could get to a baseball cap. They don't really suit my head shape, so I'm wearing my flat cap back to front, doing a bit of a Sam Jackson. But no, Mighty Max hit the market, and as with everything in the 1980s and 1990s, there was an aggressive and focused advertising campaign. So everywhere you looked on TV, and also in shops and toy stores, Mighty Max was there. I distinctly remember the adverts. I remember being fascinated, being enthralled, and finally going, yes, yes, there's a Polly Pocket for boys. So, problem is that Mum still wasn't all that sold on the idea, and I remember, and this is a horrible thing for a small child to do, but I remember, let me think, I would have been 8 years old. I remember standing in this toy store and seeing these Mighty Maxes on the shelf, well, actually sort of hung up on the wall, and saying to another little boy who was next to me, also staring at these Mighty Maxes, just sort of in awe of them, just saying, "Don't worry, I've got a plan. I know how I'm going to get one of those." And he goes, "What's your plan? What are you going to do?" And I said, I'm going to moan and scream and kick my way out of this store until I get one of those. And the thing is, I'm so ashamed of this particular story, I almost wanted to say actually it was the other boy, sort of tell a little bit of a white lie and say it wasn't me, it was him, but actually it was me. And I did. I did. I was shameless in my desire to get hold of a Mighty Max, and it worked. And it's horrible. It's this despicable, really. And also I can't believe I was so devious as an 8-year-old, actually thinking that I'm gonna make this happen. But no, I got one, and the one that I got actually was this one here. It's the skull, and the skull is brilliant, absolutely magnificent. It opens up, obviously on the outside it's a skull, but it opens up to reveal essentially like a Frankenstein's monster kind of lair. You need to set up the experimental table, and it's got these sort of electrodes, these plastic things that act as these, you can imagine the electricity passing between them. It's got a lever for Mighty Max to pull, maybe to turn off the electricity, and also, well, crucially, it's got Frankenstein's monster who's there ready to rise from the dead. There's a secret little sort of room behind a bookcase. It's a brilliant little playset, and I absolutely loved it. I treasured it, and I kept it, and I've still got it today. I also went on to collect other Mighty Max toys. Now this other one actually is technically my brother's. I think he got it around about the same time. And it's a snake, and in the snake you've got, again, another sort of themed kind of world. These are called doom zones, as it were, these fairly large but nonetheless still pocketable zones. And in the snake it's desert themed. There's a little treasure trove in a box, not unlike, I suppose, in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've got a scorpion guarding the treasure, and there's a rope that connects the two parts of the toy up, because when it opens up you've got this sort of this little I suppose this dramatic traverse for the characters to go across. And of course you've got the mummy who appears from behind a wall, moulded into the wall, and then he can chase you down through the playset. Again, it's a brilliant little toy and a wonderful little world. And over the years I've collected some others of them. For example, I've got a fly here, which is quite funky, and also this just giant spaceship. And there were different sizes as well. There was the Doom Zones, there was the horror heads, and also the monster heads, that's it. So different size play sets, and they sort of got smaller. But also there was the huge one, which was the big bad guy, the guy who appeared in the advert. You could get that one, he had light up eyes and everything, but I never managed to get my hands on that. But I just loved them. I love the fact that there was a time when I could carry around these little worlds in my pocket, and to a certain extent I would still like to. It's just a little bit, I admit it's a little bit odd, for example on the train platform, for me to get out one of these and start having a Mighty Max adventure. But I've kept them because I love them. I kept them because actually I do still open them up every now and then, and I still do enjoy playing with them. And I suppose that's the point. These are things which engender adventure and imagination, and which you come to adore, and it's really hard to let go of those things. And that's the reason why I still have my Mighty Max toys. It's not a big collection, but it's something which I treasure, and which hopefully I may well add to in the future. You never know. If I see one that I really wanted as a child, I may well fork out for it. But on this, guys, I just thought I'd share this with you. Mighty Max, if you haven't tried them, if you haven't seen them, give them a go, why not? In each and every playset, actually, the Max character with his baseball cap on, hence the baseball cap, is usually, in the cartoons, I think it was a red baseball cap, because there was a cartoon series linked with this. Of course there was, it was the 80s and 90s. But in every single playset, basically his cap colour was different. So some of them are pink, some are green, some are red, some are blue, so on and so forth. But just give it a go. You know, if you can see them on eBay for cheap, why not buy one and see what you think? They're like little dioramas. They tell a story, they encapsulate a moment, but also as well you can make up your own story. There's nothing too prescriptive or sort of, you know, there's nothing sort of structuring you too much. It's actually quite a good little world to muck about in and play with. So give them a go. That's my recommendation for the day. Try one. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please do comment below if you also love Mighty Max. I'd love to read your comments. And if you have any stories linked with Mighty Max, like I say, I remember shamelessly going to get mine, having a plan, an 8-year-old with a plan. That's a scary thing. Please do comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, as ever, do take care. Bye bye.